Hey everybody, it's Evan with Let's Do This, and today I'm going to be repairing a rotted out retaining wall. This is what it looks like when I was done with it. So I'm just trying to get a few more years out of this thing. I noticed some cracks forming in a few of the top pieces. The sides seem pretty darn good. It's solid for 90% of it. I'm going to try to get it to stop or slow down the rotting from the top down. And I think I found a pretty good way. First, you want to clean out all the loose debris that's in there, scrape out what you can, make sure it's dry, wait for a few dry days in a row because you don't want to trap the moisture in there. Um, Again, this retaining wall I built, my house was built in 1999. It's 2024, so it's that old. So it lasted this long. I figure if I fill it up with some expanding foam, primer it, seal it, and then paint it, keep the moisture from getting in there, should buy me quite a few more years. I would have no clue what this would cost to redo this retaining wall, but I'm assuming tens of thousands of dollars. So here I have some ground contact green treat wood that I'm kind of packing and filling it in because I don't want to fill all this with foam. I want to have some wood in there, something to screw the sides into to kind of help keep its form. So I have some big gap filler. Hold that can upside down. I'm doing it wrong. There you go. So I figure fill this in, punch in those pieces of wood, give it a little bit of something to chew through if moisture does get in there, so it's not all just foam bouncing around in there. The rest of the cracks are much smaller, more manageable. Those ones I just end up using the foam. So I'll put a block in there. Put two blocks up front and then fill it with foam. This foam expands pretty well. I mean, I was actually thinking it was going to expand more than it did, but as long as I can keep a lot of the moisture from getting in there. Again, I'm just trying to limp this wall along as long as I can. I mean, if I can get another 10, 15 years out of it, that would be awesome. I just noticed it was kind of getting pretty bad 4 or 5 years ago and then kind of escalating the last few years because obviously water's getting trapped in there and doesn't have anywhere to go but down or out. And I just want to preserve the wood underneath into the sides of this piece. So I don't want water sitting in there anymore. And it was dry. I was able to pull everything out or blow it out with the leaf blower. So hopefully, if this is something that you think you can do, hopefully it's used to you. So pack those in there. I cut them down to size, so I knew they'd fit in there pretty tight, which is what I wanted. I don't want to have a lot of air in there. Again, it's all about just keeping that moisture out, filling up the negative space as much as I can. Make sure to have gloves on. This stuff is ultra sticky right out of the gate. If you get it on your skin, it is such a bear to get off. I've dealt with this stuff quite a bit, filling up holes that hornets have been getting into the siding and making nests, or maybe where mice have been getting in. So I've used this stuff around the house on my siding quite a bit. If it's exposed to the air and sun for a few days, it does turn yellow pretty fast. So if you get to it pretty quick before it gets degraded by the weather, you'll have a better chance of making a good seal. So I give it a day to dry, and then I get that um, paint on there, primer, pretty quick. So here I'm just forming some wood around there that chipped off, and then I'm screwing it in. And again, that's catching the boards on the inside, so it's actually pulling it tight. My other wood around this retaining wall, I don't need to do this because it's actually, here it is, in pretty good shape. No, this is still the front piece. So I cut that off pretty flush. Not too many air pockets, and the air pockets that there are surface air pockets. Here's one of the side pieces, just a crack down the middle. So there's not enough room to back it with wood or fill it with anything else other than foam. I wait for this to dry and I cut it down pretty even. And I ended up using an outdoor oil-based primer sealer. So oil-based outdoor, that's what you want because it's going to repel the water. So here it is. It yellowed up a little bit. It's about 4 or 5 days later. Doesn't take long. So here's the paint. I make sure to put it on thick So then it gets down in those crevices, fills those holes. And then I come back with an outdoor, just a spray paint can for now. Spray it. If I want to try to get the color right later on, I can probably come back next year and do that. Winter's coming before the snow hits it and seeps in there. I figured I'd give this a shot. I'll update you next year, let you know if it's holding up or not, if the paint's chipping off right away. I don't know how well it's going to hold to this foam, but we'll find out. So here I'm just kind of shaving it down to the wood, put on my primer, wait a day or two. Here's all the foam I cut off. I have a bucket of foam. And on the top of this retaining wall, pretty good cracks going along the tops. And again, I'm just trying to get away from having to replace the whole thing right away. I don't want to have to deal with that right now. So I try to get a good layer of paint on there. And, who sees this? It's in the backyard. I'd probably spend a little bit more time, a little bit more detail, better paint matching. This is just some paint I had around. So I'm not looking to match it and, oh, where did the hole go? No, you're going to know it's there because it's black. But hopefully, again, it gives you an idea. If you want to take the time and match your paint and do a real slick, clean job, you can probably do that. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Appreciate it.